So welcome to the Craft Hour. I'm going to show you a quick watercolor flower tutorial that is very simple. It's a little abstract and you can do it to add some nice backgrounds and just play around and have fun and just start getting used to using your brushes in different ways and creating flowers. So this is a really fun, super simple technique. So what you're going to need is watercolor paper. I've got a few different pieces here just so I can keep playing around. I have the Artist Loft watercolor pan set. They're like, I don't know, like $3 at Michael's. So they're very cheap, very simple. And then I'm just going to grab some brushes. And this technique's a little bit of trial and error with your brushes and your brush size. So these are the same brush. Let me see. And you're welcome to ask any questions you may have as we go. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to try with these two different brushes. This one is a 0 and everything's chipped off, and this one is a 2, in case you care about the size. So all this technique is literally using kind of the shape of your brush and just putting down a few simple marks together here. I try not to do too much to them. Just let them kind of be on their own. And I love it when it pools and it kind of creates that effect at the bottom like a real flower would have. And that one just turned into a big mess. So I'm gonna just use a little bit of paper towel to clean it up. Okay, so I'm gonna keep, so you can kind of see the general flower shape there. So I'm just playing with it. Yes.
We see your shoulder, not your...
Oh, thank you. Okay. Can you...
Hi, Janet.
So what you might need to do is click on the video of me creating and pin that on your screen.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Go. You're welcome. All right. So it's literally just about the size of the brush. And I like to do a few less than your traditional 5 and do them like this to make them look a little more natural. And you can just dab in some paint in that corner if you need to. You can experiment, like I said, with the size and the length of these. And then I'm going to switch to this smaller brush and try that out in a different color. Oh yeah, those leaves are fun. But these smaller brushes aren't going to hold as much water, so I'm going to have to add more. There we go. And at this point, I'm not really trying to do a design. I'm just trying to get used to the technique of making the flowers. Figuring out what I like. And so all of your watercolor brushes or any of your paint brushes are going to make these really cool flowers, and they're going to do them and give you your petals in a different form. So try it with as many brushes and brush shapes that you have. And I love to cover a whole page with these. And then, you know, collage or write over top of them. Or they're fun little accents. But you see how This one right here, I did it backwards as opposed to this, and so it kind of is making kind of what the center of the flower would be look different than these three are all the same. So that's important to remember if that's important to you, but maybe you don't care, to do all of your leaves the same way. Okay, so once I'm happy with my flowers, I'm going to go back in and add some more detail, because that's the thing with watercolor is it always looks like a big giant mess until you start adding in details, and then you'll be amazed that you actually created something out of a blob. So I'm going to go with the traditional yellow center of the flowers, and I'm just going to do a tiny little kind of dab. I'm going to get another brush. Let's see. To get a little bit of a different shape, because again, I don't want to shape this as much. I want it to be a little more just kind of natural for how the brush works. And it's nice if you kind of overlap it on the flowers and not make it be exact, like exactly placed, because that's going to make it look more natural. And it's fun if it bleeds a little bit. It gives a nice little color flow to your florals. And they don't have to be exactly round or a certain shape. Okay, and then so for the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my smallest brush and I'm going to make leaves. And you can mix over here in your palette if you're not sure about your colors. Yeah, it's more of the green that I want. And then I'm just going to do one leaf off to the side for a few of them. And again, I'm just kind of sticking with that using the shape of my brush. All right, so those are very simple, small watercolor flowers. And like I just did on accident, you can always do a drop of water in the center, and it'll create a little bit more of that fun, kind of runny, mixed, abstract feel to your watercolors. But just a small drop, don't get crazy. And let it kind of overlap a few of the colors and see how that's kind of blending in and adding a little more depth to a few different parts of the flower. Or maybe just kind of off to the side, and it'll create that little bit of haze over here. All right, does anybody have any questions? Is anybody working alongside me?
Yes.
How's it going?
Decently. Good.
Good. Yeah. And this is just, a lot of practice and playing around with it to get good at it and to get the shape you want. And my best advice is to look at an actual flower and create your petals based on how those are overlapping and laying in together. And I find that the more abstract I try and make my flowers, like this one right here, this to me looks like the most realistic flower. And this one right here looks more like the cartoon kind of drawn flower. So like I said, the less you try and the less you're trying kind of being scientific, the more realistic your flowers are going to look. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you are watching not live, I would love for you to join us for the craft hour. And you can sign up for that at learn-likes.com.